Welcome to our channel where we delve into the mysterious and often gruesome world of murder mysteries. So, buckle up and join us as we uncover the truth behind the most perplexing and captivating murder mysteries. Elizabeth Short was born on July 29, 1924, in Hyde Park, Massachusetts, to Cleo and Phoebe Short. Elizabeth was the third of 5 daughters, and her childhood was marked by tragedy. Her father left the family when Elizabeth was young, and her sister Virginia died in 1940 in a car accident. Elizabeth's mother struggled to provide for her daughters and eventually moved the family to California. In 1943, Elizabeth moved to Los Angeles, hoping to become an actress. However, her dreams of stardom never materialized, and she struggled to make ends meet. She drifted from job to job and spent much of her time partying and socializing. On the night of January 9, 1947, Elizabeth was seen at the Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. She was reportedly waiting for a man who had promised to take her to San Diego for a job interview. However, the man never showed up, and Elizabeth was never seen alive again. 6 days later, on January 15, 1947, a woman walking with her young daughter discovered Elizabeth's body in a vacant lot in the Leimert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles. The body had been severed in half at the waist and was posed in a grotesque manner. Elizabeth's face had been mutilated, and her body had been drained of blood. The LAPD immediately launched an intensive investigation into Elizabeth's murder, but leads were scarce. The crime scene was a mess, with dozens of footprints and tire tracks muddling any potential evidence. The body was covered in cuts and bruises, suggesting that Elizabeth had been beaten before her death. A flower had been placed in her hair, and her body had been washed clean of any evidence. The LAPD quickly identified Elizabeth through her fingerprints, but they struggled to find any leads on potential suspects. The case quickly became a media sensation, with newspapers across the country publishing sensational stories about the Black Dahlia murder. The investigation into Short's murder was intense, with the Los Angeles Police Department receiving over 500 tips and interviewing over 150 suspects. However, no one was ever charged with the crime. The case had several bizarre twists and turns that added to the mystery. One of the most significant was a package sent to the press that contained Elizabeth's belongings, including her birth certificate, photographs, and letters. The package was addressed to Los Angeles Examiner and other Los Angeles papers, and a note inside read, "Here is Dahlia's belongings. Letter to follow." The package was postmarked in downtown Los Angeles, but the sender's identity was never discovered. Another strange clue was a cryptic note that was found in a bookstore near the crime scene. The note read, "To whom it may concern, I will give up in Dahlia killing if I get 10 years. Don't try to find me." The LAPD received several confessions from men claiming to be the killer, but none of them were deemed credible. As the investigation continued, several potential suspects emerged. One of the most prominent was a man named Mark Hansen, a wealthy nightclub owner who had been seen with Elizabeth before her death. Hansen was questioned by police, but he had an alibi and was never charged with the crime. Another suspect was a man named Leslie Dillon, who had been seen with Elizabeth shortly before her death. Dillon was a bellhop at a nearby hotel and had a history of mental illness. He was eventually cleared of any involvement in the murder. Perhaps the most infamous suspect in the Black Dahlia case was Dr. George Hodel, a prominent physician who had been linked to several other unsolved murders. Hodel was known for his eccentric behavior and was rumored to have been involved in several illegal activities, including drug trafficking and prostitution. He was never charged with the Black Dahlia murder, but his son, Steve Hodel, would later claim that he had overheard his father confessing to the crime. Despite the efforts of law enforcement and the public, the Black Dahlia murder remains unsolved to this day. The case has inspired numerous books, films, and television shows and has become one of the most enduring mysteries in American history. Black Dahlia case remains a mystery to this day. Perhaps in the future there will be some developments. One of the most infamous murder mysteries in history is the case of the Lizzie Borden murders. The murders occurred on August 4, 1892, in Fall River, Massachusetts, when Andrew and Abby Borden, Lizzie's father and stepmother, were found brutally murdered in their home. The crime was particularly shocking due to the brutality of the murders and the fact that they occurred in a small, tight-knit community where violence was relatively rare. The Borden family was a prominent one in Fall River, with Andrew Borden serving as a wealthy businessman and prominent member of the community. Despite his wealth, Andrew was known for his frugality and penny-pinching ways, which made him somewhat unpopular with his neighbors. Abby Borden, Andrew's second wife, was also not well liked in the community. She had married Andrew after the death of his first wife, and many believed that she had married him for his money. Abby was also known to be a difficult person to get along with, and she had a strained relationship with Lizzie, Andrew's daughter from his first marriage. Lizzie Borden was a well-educated and refined woman, with a love of poetry and music. However, she was also known for her mercurial temper and had a strained relationship with her father, whom she believed was too controlling and tight-fisted with his money. Lizzie was also jealous of her stepmother, whom she believed was trying to take her father's affection away from her. On the morning of August 4, 1892, Andrew and Abby were found dead in their home. Andrew had been struck in the head with a hatchet 11 times, while Abby had been struck 19 times. The murders were particularly brutal, with the victims' skulls crushed and their faces disfigured. Lizzie Borden was the only other person in the house at the time of the murders, and she quickly became the primary suspect. Lizzie had a strained relationship with her father, and many believe that she may have been motivated by financial gain or a desire for revenge. The investigation into the murders was conducted by local police, who were initially unable to find any solid evidence linking Lizzie to the crimes. However, as the investigation continued, several pieces of evidence began to emerge that pointed to Lizzie's guilt. One of the most damning pieces of evidence was a hatchet that was found in the basement of the Borden home. The hatchet was believed to be the murder weapon, and it had been recently cleaned and oiled, suggesting that someone had attempted to conceal it. Another piece of evidence was Lizzie's behavior in the days following the murders. Many witnesses reported that Lizzie had acted strangely and had given contradictory statements to police. She had also burned a dress shortly after the murders, which some believed may have been stained with blood. Despite the mounting evidence against her, Lizzie was eventually acquitted of the murders in a highly publicized trial. Her defense team argued that there was no solid evidence linking her to the crimes and that the police had failed to conduct a thorough investigation. Lizzie was ultimately found not guilty by a jury of her peers, and she was able to leave Fall River a free woman. The case of the Lizzie Borden murders remains one of the most infamous murder mysteries in history. To this day, no one knows for sure who was responsible for the brutal killings, and the case has inspired countless books, movies, and TV shows. Whether Lizzie was truly guilty or whether she was a victim of a flawed justice system remains a topic of debate among true crime enthusiasts and historians alike. As the Lizzie Borden murder case occurred over a century ago, there are no recent updates on the case itself. However, there have been some recent developments and discoveries related to the case. In 2017, a team of researchers and scientists conducted a new forensic analysis of the hatchet that was found in the Borden home and was believed to be the murder weapon. The analysis revealed that the hatchet did not contain any human blood or tissue, contradicting earlier claims that it had been used in the murders. However, some experts have questioned the validity of the new analysis and its implications for the case. In 2019, a new book titled The Trial of Lizzie Borden was published, offering a fresh perspective on the case and the trial that followed. The book, written by journalist Kara Robertson, draws on newly discovered letters and documents from the trial and argues that Lizzie may have been unfairly targeted due to her gender and social status. Despite the lack of recent developments in the case itself, the Lizzie Borden murders continue to captivate and intrigue true crime enthusiasts and historians. The mystery surrounding the case, as well as the social and historical context in which the murders occurred, continue to make it a fascinating and controversial topic of study. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of murder mysteries. We hope you enjoyed our video and gained a new understanding of the complexities of these heinous crimes. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Also, let us know in the comments what other cases you want us to cover. Until next time, stay safe, and never forget to keep your wits about you in the face of danger.